Okay, we'll start now. Okay. So I have discussed already a property. What is property, state, change of state, path? So property means, suppose if you are if you are there in your room, you can indicate pressure, volume, temperature as characteristics of your room air. Okay. So if you are, suppose you are giving values to pressure, volume, temperature, then you can say your room is at your room air is at a state having the given values. Okay, this is state. Okay, next, what is change of state? Suppose suddenly your room temperature has increased. That means temperature value is increased. Right now, temperature value is increased means the state of your room has changed from one state to second state. That is a change of state. Suppose even further I have increased the temperature of your room. Okay, then what will happen? Change of state will be from one state to second state and third state and so on. If you are joining all these states, you will get a path. Okay. So you have, can you see the screen? Can you see the screen? This one, property state.
Yes, madam.
Okay.
Yes, madam.
Okay, now we will discuss what is process. Process is nothing but if you are giving some conditions to a path. So what is path here? You have to identify what is path. From A to B, you can see this is a path. Okay. Even from 1 to 2 also this is a path. Okay, now. So how you are getting the path means by joining all the states. These cross marks are states. So join all the cross marks. You will get a path here. So this is the path. Then what is the difference between path and process? Suppose if the path has happened, that means this happened under some conditions. So I have increased the temperature of your room. That means I have kept constant some parameter. What is that parameter? So volume I have kept constant at that process. That means I have put some conditions for the state to change. Okay, from one value to another value, I have changed the temperature at some conditions. What are those conditions? So this is the process. Then you can call that as change of state as a process. Okay, then you can call that change of state means that path you can call it as a process. Okay, so these are the examples: constant volume process, constant pressure process. So these are the two examples. Okay, and thermodynamic cycle. What is thermodynamic cycle? The name itself indicates cycle means it has come to the same point. So assume that this one is a initial point and it has come to second point. Again from second point to first point it has reached. That means this is a cycle. So how can you say this is a cycle? Means initial point and end point both are same. Then you can say thermodynamic cycle. Okay. So there are these cross marks are what are those cross marks? You can say these are the states. And change of state, that means one state to second state, third state. So that's how the process has continued. Okay. So and this is the path and the name given to this path. For example, in different cases, different names will be there for the process. Okay, constant temperature process, constant volume process, constant pressure process, adiabatic process. Okay. Next, this is thermodynamic cycle. Any doubts up to here? What is difference between path and process? How can you define a process? Any doubts, ma? Anyone? Okay, I will continue. If you have any doubts, just raise your hand in between. Okay. Next, I will discuss intensive properties and extensive properties. So there are two different types of properties. How can you differentiate between those two? Means intensive means that doesn't depend on the mass. Extensive means that depends on the mass. So this is the difference. So how can you analyze this in actual scenario? So I will give some example here. Suppose I have taken a classroom. Okay. So this is your classroom. Total 10 students are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Is it visible to everyone? The screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you are all our friends. Okay. 5 students. No, don't write here. Okay. I need to explain. Afterwards you can draw. Okay. So now, so these are totally 5 here 5. Total 10 students are there. What is the volume of your classroom? Let us say V. Okay. Now I am dividing your classroom by an imaginary line. This is an imaginary line so that you can see each other. Okay. So I have divided this classroom into 2 equal parts. So now what will happen to volume? Volume will change to V by 2 and V by 2. Is it correct now? Correct or wrong? I have divided your classroom into 2 equal parts. Then what happens to the volume? It will be V by 2 and V by 2. Okay. And what happened to the mass? Let us say your mass of the system. What is the system here? Classroom is the system. And you people are the mass. That means I am dividing the mass. That means indirectly volume also has decreased. That means mass is half. M is converted to m by 2, then volume also have divided in the same proportion. So this has come in the same proportion. Okay na? So you can say volume as extensive property. So volume depends on the mass. If you are dividing the mass of the system, then exactly volume also divides. Okay na? Any doubt in this? How the volume is an extensive property? Understood? Arvind, Dimesh,
Yes,
got it now? This one? Okay, next I will go for
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
okay, intensive property. Let us take pressure. So pressure symbol is capital P, and I have taken, let us say pressure of your room is 1 atmosphere. Entire classroom pressure is 1 atmosphere. Okay. Now I have divided the classroom into 2 equal parts. Okay, what happens to the pressure here? Is it P or is it P by 2? Which one is correct and why it is correct? If you are is it P or P by 2? Practically you can analyze P, right, correct. Practically you can feel that pressure is same even if you divide the system based on the mass. Okay na? Even if the mass is decreased, the pressure remains constant. That means pressure will not depend on the mass. Okay, so you can call pressure as intensive property. What is intensive property? So property of a system which does not depends on the mass. Okay, this is intensive. Next, let us take temperature. So assume that the room temperature is 25 degrees centigrade. So I am dividing, initially the temperature of the classroom is 25 degrees centigrade. Now I have divided the system. Then what happens to the temperature? Is it T or T by 2? Which one is correct? Is it T or T by 2? In the both partitions. Is it T or T by 2? You have to say
T, ma'am.
T, correct. So you can call T as intensive property. Understood now? Till now, what is intensive, what is extensive? Even if anybody asks you about some energy or kinetic energy, velocity, you just divide the mass and analyze whether the property is decreasing or not. Okay, practically you can analyze and you can see. Okay, now intensive extensive over. Next, what is phase, what is homogeneous system and heterogeneous system, I will explain. Now phase means it should have a uniform chemical composition. Chemical composition means, for example, take ice. So ice, you can say it is in a solid state, right now? The state of the ice is, it is a solid state, solid phase you can say. So there are three phases. Example, solid, liquid, gas. You can get water in three phases. In solid form it is ice, liquid form it is water, okay, and in gas form it is vapor. So three phases are there. In all the three phases, what happens to the chemical composition of water? Will it change or it will remain same? What is the chemical composition first? What is the chemical composition of water? Anyone?
H2O.
H2O, right. So H2O is the chemical composition of water. It will remain same even throughout the solid state, throughout the liquid state, throughout the gas state. That means you can call this gas state as the phase. Why? Because in gas state the composition of water molecules is same. It will not change. That's why we are calling gas state as the phase. Okay, liquid state as the phase. Only for some elements, not for all the elements, it will be a phase. Okay, because from solid to liquid, liquid to gas, suppose take carbon. Carbon in solid state, will it remain same as gas if you burn it? No, it will change to CO2, right? Correct, na? You can't get gas form of carbon, so you can get only in solid form. So that is phase example. Next, what is homogeneous and heterogeneous? Suppose you are mixing uh, for example, air and water. That means in the air you can see humidity. The water molecules are there in the air. So can you say air plus humidity as a homogeneous system? There are two phases. Two phases are there. Even though there are two phases, the system you can call it as a heterogeneous system. So heterogeneous system. So I have taken air. Air means only gaseous air. Gaseous air I have taken. Okay, na? And plus humidity. Water molecule droplets, humidity. Water droplets. Okay, na? So this is one phase. What is this phase? This is a vapor phase. This is a vapor phase. But what is the chemical composition of this phase? What is the chemical composition of gaseous air? Nitrogen, oxygen, correct na? Hydrogen. Remaining, anything is left except nitrogen, oxygen, hydrogen. Noble gases. Okay, this is the composition of gases here. And what is the chemical composition of H2O? Water. This is H2. So if I am combining these two, this entire thing, gaseous air plus water droplets, then this is a heterogeneous system. This is heterogeneous system. Heterogeneous system is two phases are mixing. If you are mixing two phases, more than two phases, then you can call it as a heterogeneous system. Just only take gaseous air, only gaseous air. You can say this is a homogeneous system. And then take only humidity, droplets, vapor. This is also homo. But if you are combining these two, you can get heterogeneous system. Understood now? This one, any doubt? What is homogeneous system? What is heterogeneous system? Any doubt? No? No doubts? Arvind, Dimesh, is there any doubt? Understood? Huh?
No.
Okay, okay. Okay. We'll continue further. Next, what phase over? Homogeneous, heterogeneous system over. Next, quasi-static process. So this is an important process. You can say it is an ideal process. All the thermodynamic cycles you can call it as a quasi-static process, and you are drawing the cycles as a solid line by a solid lines. If you are indicating a process by a dotted line, this is not a quasi-static process. Only the quasi-static process will be seen as a solid line. Okay, in between these cross marks are states. Okay, let us say initially number of change states are, let us say 10. Okay, 10 changes of states are there. How we are getting 10 changes of states means, let us take first, for example, I have taken piston cylinder arrangement here. Piston cylinder arrangement having gas. In this gas is there having pressure P1 and volume V1, temperature T1. I have put some weight on this piston. What happens? There is a balance between pressure and here the pressure of gas is balanced by the weight initially. Suppose I have taken out this weight from this system. What happens? The gas will exert pressure on this piston and the piston will move slowly or rushly. So it will move uh, with a speed until here, and it will stop here. The piston will stop here because stops are there here, and this is one system. Okay, and this is different. What happened here? I have sliced this entire weight into 10 equal number of slices. Okay, 10 equal number of slices. One by one, slowly I have taken out the whole. One by one, I have taken out the weights. So initially, I have taken out this weight, first weight. So what happens to the piston? What happens to the piston? It will move to a small distance. Okay, then it will stop. Then again, I have taken out the weight, second weight. Then it will further move towards this stoppers. Then again, so continue this process until the last piece